We at AutoGuide.com have traveled all over the globe this year to bring you reviews of all the newest cars. Here's what you guys clicked on the most. These are the top 10 most popular reviews of 2017. In the number 10 spot is the super sexy Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. We think that people were really curious to see if this super sedan lived up to the hype of its record-setting Nürburgring lap, and we'd say it certainly does. This car is just a joy to drive, and it has a pureness to it that's really difficult to find these days. And although it's really good looking, it's still not perfect. The ergonomics are a mess, it's not very user-friendly, and it has a spotty reliability record. Still, we can't help but love it. Next up is the Subaru Outback. Considering the Subaru Outback is the brand's best-selling model, it's no surprise that it lands on our top 10 list. This unique offering is more like a wagon on stilts, and it just got a refresh, so shoppers were interested to see what has changed. Along with a more rugged appearance, the interior is also much nicer than it used to be, which is one of the biggest improvements. The 8th most popular review this year was of the new Honda Civic Type R. This was one of the most highly anticipated vehicles of the year, and there was a lot of buzz around this car. We were really skeptical at first, but ended up being very impressed. This is probably the best front-wheel drive performance car you can get right now. We drove it around a track and it was just so good at overcoming the characteristics that usually plague front-drive hot hatches. Next up is the Genesis G70. This one was actually pretty surprising, but drivers were very curious to see if this luxury Korean car has what it takes to take down the BMW 3 Series. The sedan looks sharp, the interior is amazing, and yes, it is very capable when driven hard. It's not going to steal any BMW drivers away, but it makes a really compelling case. Coming in the 6th spot is the Volkswagen Atlas. This all-new 3-row SUV is a very important product for North American consumers, and we were impressed that it pretty much drives like a Golf, but bigger. We liked all the family-friendly features, but we didn't really like how stiffly it rode and felt that the engine was underpowered. Still, this is a big step for Volkswagen. Next up is no surprise, and it's the Kia Stinger. This car is one of the most highly anticipated cars of the year because it really helps change things for the Korean brand. This rear-drive sports sedan really lives up to the hype. We think it looks great, it has a world-class interior, and best of all, it drives really confidently. This car isn't just good for a Kia, it's good, period. People were very curious about it, and we can't blame them. The 4th most popular review this year was the ToyotaCHR. We were really surprised by the driving dynamics of this funky crossover. We kind of expected it to be really boring, but it's actually fun to drive way harder than you should. Although we were a bit let down by the interior and the lack of all-wheel drive, this is still a refreshingly entertaining and stylish car for its class. Next up is the Subaru Crosstrek. There were actually 2 Subaru Crosstrek reviews in our top 10, and we were surprised by the massive interest in this crossover, but think it deserves all the attention because they did such a good job with it. It's still really slow, but it does drive really well and has a much improved interior. Coming in at number 2 is the Kia Niro. We were really surprised by this, but are happy to see this hybrid crossover land in our top 10 because it's a really good vehicle. As the second Kia on this list, the Niro is an important car for the brand. It's a crossover first and a hybrid second, and it drives and looks like a normal car, which is something we really appreciate. And the most popular review this year was actually a look at which car is better, the Volkswagen GTI or the Golf R. There's quite a price difference between the two, but this one actually comes up in discussions all the time at the AutoGuide.com office. The verdict? Many of us prefer the more affordable GTI and believe that the extra money you pay for the Golf R doesn't buy you more fun. It's been a really crazy year, and we wanted to thank you for all of your support. Thanks so much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe. It's free and we love you!